यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जना यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जना यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना यशोदानंदन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा राम राम हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 Saparivrajacharya Ashtotar Satarshi Srimad. His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON BPD Founder Acharya Siddha of the whole world Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parirajaacharya Ashtotar Satarshi Srimad. His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। संवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्यति। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhāgavatam, Canto 4. The chapter 2 entitled Daksha curses Lord Shiva, verse number 2. Kastam charcharam gurum kastam characharam guru nirvairam shanta vigraham Atmaram kataham devasti Atmaram kataham devasti Jagato devatam mahat Kastam characharam guru Nirvairam shanta vigraham Atmaram kataham devasti Jagato devatam mahat Kastam characharam guru Nirvairam shanta vigraham Atmaram katam devasti Jagato daivatam mahat Kastam characharam guru Nirvairam shanta vigraham Atmaram katam devasti Jagato daivatam mahat Kastam charachara gurum Nirvairam shanta vigraham Atmaram katam devasti Jagato daivatam mahat. Vaishnavis. Kastam charachara gurum Nirvairam shanta vigraham Atmaram katam devasti Jagato Daivatamaha Kastam Characharam Guru Nirvairam Shanta Vigraham Atmaram Katam Devasti Jagato Daivatamaha. Word to word meaning. Kaha, who, Daksha. Tam, him, Lord Shiva. Chara Achara, of the whole world, both animate and inanimate. Gurum, the spiritual master. Nirvairam, without enmity. Shanta Vigraha, having a peaceful personality. Atmaram, satisfied in himself. Katham, how. Devasti, hates. Jagata, of the universe. Devatam, demigod. Mahat, the great. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Lord Shiva, the spiritual master of the entire world, is free from enmity, is a peaceful personality, and is always satisfied in himself. He is the greatest amongst the demigod. How is it possible that Daksha could be inimical towards such an auspicious personality? Purport. Lord Shiva is considered here as Chara Achara Guru, the spiritual master of all animate and inanimate objects. He is sometimes known as Bhutnath, which means the worshipable deity of the dull-headed. Bhut is also sometimes taken to indicate the ghost. Lord Shiva takes charge of reforming persons who are ghosts and demons, not to speak of others who are godly. Therefore, he is spiritual master of everyone, both the dull and demonic and the highly learned Vaishnava. It is also stated, Vaishnavanam Yata Shambho. Shambho, Lord Shiva, is the greatest of all the Vaishnavas. On one hand, he is the worshipable object of all the dull demons, and on the other, he is the best of all Vaishnavas or devotees. And he has a sampradaya called the Rudra Sampradaya. Even if he is an enemy or is sometimes angry, such a personality cannot be the object of envy. So Vidur is astonishment asked why he was taken such a special case, especially by Daksha. Daksha is also not an ordinary person. He is a Prajapati in charge of fathering population, and all his daughters are highly elevated, especially Sati. The word Sati means the most chaste. Whenever there is a consideration of chastity, Sati, the wife of Lord Shiva and the daughter of Daksha, is considered first. Vidhur therefore was astonished. Daksha is such a great man, he thought, and he is the father of Sati, and Lord Shiva is the spiritual master of everyone. How then could there possibly so much enmity between them, that Sati, the most chaste goddess, could give up her body because of their quarrel? Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshalo Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sa Padantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamischa Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakambitamischa Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyat Desatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. First of all, I like to seek blessings of all the devotees assembled here, especially Srimad Hari Prabhu, Hare Krishna, so that we can speak something glorifying Srimad Bhāgavatam, glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and at the same time purify my heart of all the impurities. And as a service to all of you, let me glorify whatever I have learned from my previous my teachers and my spiritual master. Hare Krishna. So, in this canto of Srimad Bhāgavatam, 4th canto, is very beautifully describing the glories of devotional service, and especially there is this episode of Daksha has been we are discussing the episode of Daksha. If we see, the 4th canto is a very wonderful canto in which the pastimes of Dhruva Maharaj is has been explained very nicely, and then Prachetas has been explained very nicely, and then Pritu Maharaj's pastime has come. So this canto is a very beautiful chapter, especially for the devotees, and to learn how a sadhaka can improve and what all obstacles he will be facing in the path of devotional service, and how to overcome these obstacles has been taught here in this 4th canto. In these verses, what we are discussing is 1 to 3 is Vidura's inquiry. This chapter, if you break down the chapter and understand the themes, what are going on. In the first and third verse, Vidura's inquiry about the dissension between Daksha and Lord Shiva. So why Lord Shiva and Daksha have such great enmity between them is been Vidur is inquiring about that thing, and especially he glorifies in 1 and 2 verses where the glorification of Lord Shiva has been very wonderfully done with very beautiful adjectives, like he is best among the gentlemen, Shilatvam Shrestra, that comes in first verse, and then Chara Achara Guru, spiritual master of the whole world, that is both animate and inanimate. Now if you want to understand how Lord Shiva is considered the spiritual master of both animate and inanimate objects, is a very wonderful thing to understand, is a very wonderful consideration. As Lord Shiva, the word Shiva itself, we'll be discussing more on the qualities of Lord Shiva and his pastimes, because this verse, this purport, Prabhupada describes more glories about Lord Shiva and wanted to focus more about Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is such a wonderful personality. Just by uttering the name Shiva, it is told that all the sinful activities are, one gets purified of all the sinful activities just by uttering the two-syllable name Shiva, Shiva. It's like one gets purified by all sinful activities. So that is the powerful name of Lord Shiva. And Shiva, whenever Lord Shiva's name is being uttered, that is like, he brings great auspiciousness in the heart of the person. That's why, a lot of people are worshippers of Lord Shiva, because they want auspiciousness to be brought in their lives. So Lord Shiva has been glorified in this Chara and Achara, and there are like few more adjectives what have been glorified are like Nirvairam. He is non-envious of any person, and he is Shanta Vigraha, always peaceful. He is very peaceful personality. Even in the when Daksha was about to attack Lord Shiva, there is a fight going on in the later past time. There is a battle which is going on between the followers of Daksha and Lord Shiva. But Lord Shiva is not at all disturbed. He is not at all, getting agitated or doing anything. He just walks up and then leaves the assembly and goes away. So he's a very peaceful personality. He's not like very agitating or very provoking. Like if you say Narasimhadev is like very attacking personality. It's not like who is very peaceful. But Lord Shiva is very peaceful personality. We never see Lord Shiva like without any objective. He is very angry. So Lord Shiva is very peaceful personality, and Atmaram, he is self-satisfied. He is self-satisfied. Why? Because he is always meditating. He is meditating on Lord Sri Ram actually, and being Shankarshan himself, and being the worshipable object is Shankarshan. So he is always meditating on Lord Ram and Lord Shankarshan. So this verse, Sri Rama Rameti, Rame Rame Manorame, Sahasra Nama Tatpulyam, Rama Nama Varayate. So in this verse, if you see, Lord Shiva is glorifying the name of Lord Ram and telling whoever chants the name of Lord Ram is very, very dear to him. And he's, this is his meditation. Lord Shiva's meditation is always that, when I can please Lord by chanting his name. And that is what his meditation he does in Kailash, where he is residing. So Lord Shiva is, there is this, I was just going through the words of, this Lord Shiva lives in Ilavrat Varsha. When we hear the description of the entire universe, in the 5th canto it is described that Lord Shiva lives in Ilavrat Varsha and is encircled with tens and millions of maidservants who are the goddess of Durga actually, who are the maidservants of goddess of Durga. And who is there? There is only one male, that is Lord Shiva in that planet, and there is others are, everyone is female actually. They are subordinate and worshipping Lord Shiva. So even if any male by mistake enters that planet, goddess Durga actually turns that male into a female, so that only there should be one male in that planet, that is Lord Shiva, and he is the object of worshipable object. So that is the prayer where he is telling. And then the quadruple expansion of Supreme Lord is Vasudev, Pradyumna, Anirudh and Shankarshan. And Shankarshan, 4th expansion, is certainly transcendental, and his activities are indestructible in this material world. And because Lord Shankarshan is in charge of, Lord Shiva is in charge of mode of ignorance, and he is in charge for the destruction of, he is in charge of destruction. So he always prays to Lord Shankarshan, who is his objectable, worshipable object, and is the cause of his existence. And he always chants this mantra. So Lord Shiva himself is glorifying what he does, what is his meditation. He does Om Namo Bhagavate Mahapurushaya Sarva Guna, Om Namo Bhagavate Mahapurushaya Sarva Guna, Shankhaya Anantaya Avyaktaya Nama Iti. This is like Lord Shankarshan. The translation is, the most powerful Lord Shiva says, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. In your expansion as Lord Shankarshan, you are the reservoir of all transcendental qualities. Although you are unlimited, you remain unmanifest to the non-devotees. And he says, Lord Shiva keeps glorifying Lord Shankarshan, and he tells, this is my meditation. This is my prayer to Lord Shankarshan. So his meditation is very clear that he always meditates on Lord Shankarshan. So and then Sukdev Goswami tells that he is Atmaram, self-satisfied, and Jagato Daitam, the greatest of the demigods. He is one of the greatest of the demigods. So whenever we see Lord Shiva has been considered, any calamities which come, and where they want to approach, they want to get a solution of that thing, Lord Shiva has been called. There is this, Lord Shiva is considered as Tripurari. Why is he considered as Tripurari? Because at one time there was this demon, great demon called Mayadanav. He had such a mystic power that he created three celestial palaces in the air, and he was attacking the complete earth with that celestial power, with that cities what he had created. And then he was attacking and he was destroying the complete earth. And during that time they had no one else, the demigods had no one else to fight with him. His demigods could not compete with Mayadanav. And then Lord Shiva was approached, and Lord Shiva came and he had a very wonderful fight with Mayadanav. And he defeated Mayadanav, and then that's why the city which was named as Tripurari, because so he is called Tripurari also. Lord Shiva killed Mayadanav, and then eventually he was called Tripurari. So whenever there is any calamity or anything, Lord Shiva is considered. We see the pastime of this Samudra Manthan Leela also. In Samudra Manthan Leela, when demigods and demons, they came together, Asuras and Suras, they came together to churn the ocean, milk ocean, and that was for the benefit of everyone. It was not for just the benefit of the demigod that they wanted to churn, but it was for the benefit of everyone. They wanted to churn the ocean and offer the gifts whatever were produced to Lord Vishnu, and to have. So they were churning the ocean, and first thing what they got, their motive was that they should get nectar. That was their motive to churn the ocean. But the first thing what comes out is poison. That is like something. So when I was hearing a talk on this one, the speaker was telling that when we start churning our heart, and when we start taking Krishna consciousness more seriously, what happens in our heart is, we are looking for Krishna Prem, or we are looking for something which is very, very divine, the higher taste we are looking. But as we start chanting, what happens is all our impurities, they start surfacing on the top of our consciousness. They start coming actually, and they become a great cause of disturbance for a sadhaka. But still, as a sadhaka, if he just keeps churning the ocean, keeps chanting the holy name of the Lord, keep practicing devotional service, then eventually what happens is all these impurities actually they go away. So at that time, he should not leave the process of chanting, because there are so many impurities which are coming. In fact, if we see, initially we might not be disturbed, when before becoming a devotee, we might be very peaceful personality, or they are not, these anarthas are not visible to us. But when we start chanting, these anarthas come more in our consciousness, and that causes a great amount of disturbance. If after becoming a devotee, what is happening? My consciousness, instead of upgrading, or improving, it's going down. But if we eventually, we have come to improve our consciousness, but now what is happening is we are getting more and more attacked by these anarthas, which are surfacing actually in this, in our consciousness, in our heart. So this is actually what happens is, when before becoming a devotee, we are ignorant of what is happening around us, what is our consciousness or not. But after becoming a devotee, we are very, very conscious of everything. We are very conscious of what we are taking, what prasad we are taking, what sound vibration we are coming in contact with, what is the association we are getting in, and that all things actually affect us actually. So after becoming a devotee, we have to be more careful, and if we continue, then all these impurities which are there in our heart eventually get nullified, and by Lord's mercy and spiritual master's mercy, we can attain the main thing, what is the love of Godhead. So during this Samudra Manthan Leela, what had happened? There was this halahal yudh, halahal wish, which had come up actually, which started surfacing more And none of the demigods could actually come up with a solution of what to do. So everyone approached, even Lord Brahma and all the demigods, they approached, Lord Vishnu, and they asked, what are we supposed to do now? We were looking for nectar, Amrit, but here is something, what is poison which is coming up actually. So Lord Shiva addressed them that you should go and seek help from Lord Shiva. Vishnu actually addressed them and told them that you should go and seek help from Lord Shiva. And eventually when all the demigods went, drinking poison is not a small thing. If someone comes and gives you a cup of poison, are we ready to drink it, knowing that it may cause one's life to be taken away? But Lord Shiva, just for making the environment very proper for everyone to live, he is ready to drink poison also. In fact, what he does during this time is he collects all the poisons and he concentrates the poison in his own palm, in a single palm, and he drinks it. Because the poison gets concentrated and he drinks it, his throat, which is white in color, becomes dark blue, and that's why he is called as Neelakant, because his Kant becomes Neelkant. So and in few days we have Dasara actually, which is coming up. During that time, there is this one bird whose neck also is very, very blue. I don't remember the name of the bird, but it is told that whoever sees and is able to see that bird, he becomes very, very auspicious. It is very auspicious to see the bird, especially on the day of Dasara, because we get a lot of blessings of Lord Shiva when we have that darshan. It's like that. So this is so here in this thing, if we see what is Lord Shiva's consciousness, he is as a Vaishnava, he is paradukha dukhi. He is very, very sad when others are suffering. So that's why he's called he's the guru of he's called Bhutanath also. Bhutanath means he is giving shelter to all the hobblings and goblins and ghosts and everything who are there around, and he is giving shelter to such personalities. We understand how does a person become a ghost is because he has unfulfilled desires and his body, he's committed suicide or his body has been taken away untimely. Then he becomes a ghost actually. And becoming a ghost is a very, very dangerous thing. You don't have any body and you have unfulfilled desires, and somehow or the other you want to fulfill those desires. And who can give shelter to such personalities? It's only Lord Shiva who is having such great compassion towards these living entities that he is giving shelter to these personalities. So out of great compassion only, Lord Shiva is giving such great shelter to these personalities, these ghosts and other things. That's why it's called Bhutanath, and he is paradukha dukhi, always concerned about bringing the well-being for all other living entities. So if we compare Lord Shiva's this personality, how he is always looking for the well-being of others. We see Advaita Acharya also, he also wanted to look for the well-being of all the living entities. Especially in Bengal during 500 years ago, everyone was very much interested in materialistic activities. Everyone was just, though there was discussion of Srimad Bhāgavatam, but there was not a single word of bhakti which was spoken. Everyone was trying to just earn more and more money. The Bengal during that time, it was filled with lot of intelligent people, and everyone was just looking for earning name and fame and then money. And people had so much wealth that they did not know what to do. So it is told that during that time they were conducting marriages of whom? Their pets. They were conducting marriages of the pets. They were having so much wealth that they did not know what they should be doing. So they were conducting, their children are getting married. Now let the pets also get married. So they were conducting marriages of the pet, but their consciousness was not improving. So we can see, it was just not during that time. Here now also we see in United States, people are so much fond of their pets. Why? Because this is already been followed earlier also. People are very much fond of pets actually, and they want to spend so many things on taking care of pets and other things. So during that time, Advaita Acharya was thinking that somehow or the other there should be that the bhakti cult should be brought back. That all these persons who are suffering, they are not knowing what is the best thing for them, and for them Lord Krishna has personally has to come. Though Lord Advaita Acharya is himself the incarnation of Mahavishnu and Sankarshan, but still he doesn't want to deliver these living entities. He wants that Lord Krishna personally to come, descend in this world and deliver all the living entities. So we see how Advaita Acharya is also like, he is exhibiting this quality of para dukkha dukhi, and that's why he starts worshipping the Shaligram with on the banks of Ganges at Shantipur, on the bank of Ganges, and is worshipping the Shaligram every day, and he's offering Ganges water and tulsi to Shaligram, and just by worshipping Shaligram in such a simple way and crying for the Lord that he should come and deliver all the living entities, eventually Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in this world to deliver all the living entities. In fact, if we see, if we look forward for in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is this Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, he exhibited, this, the motive behind Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to take sannyas is that he wanted to show compassion to all living entities. In fact, if he would have been a grahastha, just he would have been in Mayapur or Navdeep, residing there. But he wanted to deliver all the living entities. He wanted to travel around, and the best way to travel was to take sannyas and to deliver everyone. To deliver everyone. So he took sannyas and he immediately went to Jagannath Puri, and then eventually went to South India. So it is told that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also always in the mood of para dukkha dukhi, that when I can give the medicine what I had brought from Golok Vrindavan to everyone, actually the love of Godhead, but he wanted to give it to everyone, and then he took sannyas. Before that he was not preaching so much. After becoming a devotee also, he wasn't preaching, he was not having so much Sankirtan or Nam Sankirtan outside. But after becoming a sannyasi, he was traveling around spreading the name of Lord Krishna. And if we see in the same way how Srila Prabhupada has such a great compassion towards all the living entities. In fact, he exhibited this quality of para dukkha dukhi, by taking the instruction of his spiritual master very seriously and coming to the West, taking so much difficulties actually. When a person wants to do good to others, when a person wants to do well, bring something auspicious in others' life, he has to go to many difficulties. And Srila Prabhupada exhibited that in his travels. When he came to the West also, he was having very tough time actually living here, establishing the movement, living in the Bauri. Now the Bauri, if you go, it's very good actually, you can go around very peacefully. But during that time, there were so many hippies, all drunkard people. In fact, when I was reading Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit, and it is told that every day during 1965-66, there were 3, 4 or 5, 6 people who were lying dead on the road, on the pavement of the road. It was like that, people used to get drunk, or people used to die because of the cold, or because they did not have any shelter, or they had fight or anything like that. And there were people lying dead actually on the road. Can we imagine? Now we don't have we don't see any person lying on the road as dead. But during that time, the condition was like that. And Prabhupada was living in that condition. 65, 70 years old person coming from India, and living there is like a great challenge. Not understanding the culture here, not understanding the people's mentality. But then, he was here taking all this trouble just to give, just to spread Krishna consciousness. And today, as Ramrai Prabhu was telling, today is the first 50th anniversary of Prabhupada exhibiting this thing by doing Harinam Sankirtan, in Thomas Kingston Square Park. So this is such a great auspicious day actually, that these great personalities are exhibiting such a wonderful quality of Paradukha Dukhi. And if we go ahead, if we see more about Lord Shiva, if we speak up more about Lord Shiva is such a personality that he has given shelter to so many asuras also, because one of his name is Ashutosh. Ashutosh means one who is easily pleased. Lord Shiva is very easily pleased, and whenever any person who wants some benediction in his life, they approach Lord Shiva. And because Lord Shiva is very easily pleased, he grants the benedictions to these living entities. So there is this very wonderful thing about Lord Shiva is he shows mercy to his living, and he shows mercy to his devotees or to the person who are following or asking benedictions by two things, that is Nishkapata Kripa and Sakapata Kripa. So what is Nishkapata Kripa is that whenever anyone worships Lord Shiva without any motive behind, he just wants to worship Lord Shiva, glorify Lord Shiva. Like Prachetas, they were worshipping Lord Shiva. And when Lord Shiva was passing by, he came and he blessed Prachetas, and then he gave them the benediction. In fact, there is this Rudra Geet which takes place, the dialogue between Lord Shiva and the Prachetas. And in that, he gives the benediction that, just by worshipping the Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna, one gets the highest benediction. So he gives the highest benediction by making the follower as the greatest devotee, as the devotee of Krishna. And secondly, is he gives Sakapata Kripa, mercy with cheating tendency. Like any person is coming, and he just wants with a motive that he wants to have something. Like we see the example of Vrikasur. Vrikasur was worshipping Lord Shiva in a very ghastly way. He was cutting off his own flesh from his body and putting it in the sacrifice. And in that way he wanted to, please Lord Shiva immediately and get benediction from him. And at the end, when Lord Shiva was not appearing, he was ready to cut down his head and put it in the sacrifice, so that Lord Shiva comes and gives him benediction. So if we see such demonic personalities, they also are worshipping Lord Shiva, and for them Lord Shiva is the shelter. So he is like giving shelter to such personalities also. So finally Lord Shiva comes and gives benediction to Vrikasur. And what benediction he asks? He asks the benediction that on whosoever head I keep my hand, let that head burst into thousands of pieces immediately. And then he gets the benediction. Lord Shiva tells Tatastu, and he gets the benediction. But then immediately his mentality changes, that the worshipable object from whom I got benediction, he wants to put his hand on Lord Shiva's head only. This is the demonic tendency. It is told that the hand which feeds us, he is trying to cut the same hand. It's like that, So, Vrikasur wanted to enjoy to have Parvati as his wife. And then immediately he wanted that Lord Shiva is the obstacle, let me kill him first. And then he runs behind Lord Shiva so that he can put his hand on Lord Shiva. And then we know, as this pastime goes, that Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna comes in the form of a small Brahman boy. And he cheats, he tells Vrikasur that nowadays Lord Shiva's pastimes, his blessings are not working. And then he tells, really? I did not knew about this thing. And then you try out yourself, And then the way he tells that Vrikasur keeps his hand on his own head, and immediately his head bursts into thousands of pieces. So this is how Lord Krishna saves Shiva when Shiva is in trouble also. So one more beautiful thing of one of the services what Lord Shiva does is he is Dham Rakshak also. If we see, in many of the dhams, Lord Shiva is residing as Dham Rakshak. As Nandishwar Mahadev in Nandagaon, he is there. As where in Jagannath Puri also he is there as what is the deity? What is the deity there of Lord Shiva? Nandishwar Mahadev. In Jagannath Puri, he is residing as Dham Rakshak. I'm not getting. In every Dham, he is there as Dham Rakshak actually, and he is residing and protecting the Dhams. So this is one of his quality of protecting the Dhams. And Lord Shiva is one more thing. How does Lord Shiva deal with devotees? He is like, in 5th canto, there is this verse which comes, in which it is told, Atha Bhāgavatam yoyam priyasta bhagwan yatha namad Bhāgavatam cha priya atho stita karchisit. You all are devotees of Lord, and as such I appreciate you as respectable as the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. So when you become a devotee, Lord Shiva is considering you and appreciating and accepting you and giving respect as much as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And I know in that way that the devotees also respect me and that I am dear to them. Thus no one can be as dear to the devotees as I am. So this is how Lord Shiva deals with the devotees, that he is very, very dear to the devotees, and he sees everyone dear. That's why he is called Vaishnavanam Yata Shambho. He is greatest of the Vaishnava actually, showing compassion towards all the living entities. Just wanted to discuss about Sati also, little bit about Sati and Daksha before we end. Sati exhibits such great quality, like the chastity of Sati has been discussed every time whenever there is chastity been spoken. One second. If we see Sati's character, she was very, very bold. In fact, Sati was the favorite of Daksha's daughters. She was very beautiful and she was one of the favorites of Daksha's daughter. And Daksha becomes very envious because of one of the reason why Daksha is very enmical towards Lord Shiva is because Sati, without taking permission from his father Daksha, she marries Lord Shiva. And because Lord Shiva is not of the same caliber of Daksha, and he is living as without a home. He is living in Kailash, and he is living without smeared with all ashes and other things. So Daksha feels that Lord Shiva is not a perfect match to my daughter, and that's why this is one of the reasons that Daksha becomes very, very envious of Lord Shiva, because Sati is very, very bold in acting in this way. And Sati tries to please Daksha, tries to please Lord Shiva by doing lot of austerities also. And whenever Daksha does a sacrifice, Lord Krishna himself comes to the arena and accepts the obligations. So such personality, why is he exhibiting such enmical nature? The same way we can understand, Parikshit Maharaj also asked the same question during 10th canto, that how can the cousin of Krishna, Shishupal, became so envious that he had to be killed during this the sacrifice which was done by Yudhishthir Maharaj. So why these personalities exhibit such sacrifice? So this is the astonishment for a devotee, that why there is such a great amount of envy in the heart of a living entity, and how this can be cured. So this was my thing. If anyone has any questions or comments or anything, yes.
Prabhuji,
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
You said that Lord Shiva protects
Yeah.
In Mayapur, Vriddha Shiva,
Yeah.
he protects the dams along with Maya.
Yes.
So, since Shiva is a Mahajan, since Shiva is mentioned throughout Srimad Bhāgavatam, why is it that in ISKCON we have no deities of Shiva, no puja, no festival? Why is Shiva less prominent in ISKCON than he is in some other Vaishnava temples throughout India? Why is this?
Yeah.
Is it so? Or, first of all, is it so? Secondly, if it is so, why is it so?
We do, worshipping Lord Shiva doesn't mean that, we have a temple for Lord Shiva or a deity of Lord Shiva and worshipping him. We glorify Lord Shiva whenever there is an opportunity which comes, we glorify Lord Shiva. That is more worshipable than just sitting and worshipping Lord Shiva. And the reason that, we don't encourage worshipping Lord Shiva is, Lord Shiva attracts all the people who are in mode of ignorance, and everyone sees Lord Shiva as demigod. In India,
Lord Shiva be suitable for demigod?
we can consider that thing, but we have Radha Govinda, so we'll be very fortunate to connect everyone to the purest form, that is Radha Govinda, rather than connecting to someone. As a devotee, we definitely worship Lord Shiva, but as a demigod, we show him respects. One should understand that, Lord Shiva, even though we consider him as a Vaishnava, and he is still having a post of a demigod. So he is not considered to be superior, senior, very senior. So if we show undue respect, it's like, you want to approach Krishna, but you are worshipping Lord Shiva, then that becomes, many people will be more attracted to just worship. And many want to come and approach Lord Shiva for material benedictions. Many want to just come and approach Lord Shiva for material benedictions. But we want that our material desires, whatever we have, should be purified. And Lord Krishna is Hari. He removes all the unwanted things from the heart. That's why we want to worship Lord Krishna directly rather than worshipping Lord Shiva. So this is my little understanding,
Good answer. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Any other comments or questions? Yeah, yes, Krishna Kripa.
When you're talking about worshiping Lord Shiva, we had an interesting experience in Tallahassee. We had a bunch of Indian people in the congregation, and they wanted to serve Shiva Ratri at our place. So we let them do it, but we also told them about the relationship, because we had supporting Thai deities. We told them about the relationship between Lord Chaitanya and Lord Shiva, which they didn't know. There's that beautiful pastime that Swami Hari sort of alluded to by mentioning the appearance of Shiva and Mayapur. And it's in the Navadvita Mahatmya, and it's just an amazing story about how Lord Shiva's dancing in ecstasy in Satyayuga, just thinking that, sometime Lord Chaitanya's going to appear.
Yeah, that's
and
correct.
it's a very amazing pastime, and it really brought the people up to a higher level of appreciation of the relationship between Lord Shiva and Lord Chaitanya.
In fact, when we hear about the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, during his South Indian travel, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was traveling and going through the hills of Rishabha hills, during that time, Lord Shiva and Parvati, they disguise themselves as Brahman and his wife, and they come and serve Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they have a lot of discussion on the Bhagavatam, on Srimad Bhāgavatam and other topics, other spiritual topics. And Mother Parvati is every time cooking, every day she was cooking and feeding Gauranga Mahaprabhu personally. So that is like very great reciprocation of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Shiva. In fact, if we see, when he comes to the Bhubaneswar, there is this Lingaraj temple. In fact, as soon as Lord Shiva, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu enters the Lingaraj temple, understanding the greatness of Lord Shiva, he starts dancing in a great ecstasy. In the same way like how he dances in front of Lord Jagannath, he is dancing here and circumambulating and the Shivling, which is very big there, and he's dancing and making everyone dance there, just glorifying Lord Shiva and glorifying the Lord, the names of the Lord. So that was the reciprocation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Shiva actually. So thank you for adding this thing. Hare Krishna. So we should end here. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samved Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande.